Nathan Cox here. Thanks for joining us on Around the Home. Okay, today we're going to be installing some under cabinet lights. Now, I just made a video, okay, on cutting out the tile backsplash. You want to check that out? Top right of your screen. Link will pop up there for that. Okay, but now that we have this open, that's the easiest time to do this. This is a direct wire under cabinet light system, okay? So they're really nice. It's like built-in light fixtures. When we're done, there'll be no wires shown at all. Okay, we're going to add a light switch into here, so when the new drywall and tile goes back up, it looks like it was built like original, like that, okay? There's not going to be little strings of cords and AC adapters or anything else like that. None of that, okay? Really clean, professional looking. So these ones here, it says in Brighton on it, but they used to be the GE. And there's still some of the GE out there. I'll have some Amazon links in the description down below. Or you can also get these like at your local Lowe's or Home Depot and stuff like that. And they got various different lengths of them. So I've got some 24s, I got some 18s, and over here I've even got a 48-inch to put in. So they got a couple other sizes than that. Okay, so if you look up underneath here, now these cabinets are kind of nice because they got this big area right here. So our light's going to fit right up here in the back. Okay, and the wires will come right through here. So that's why you won't see any wires. Now a lot of cabinets don't have this nice lip down here that you can hide the lights in, but you can still put it underneath there, and they're pretty hidden. So some of the tools that you're going to need, probably not all of them, but you're going to need a drill, probably going to need some spade bits, you're going to need some Romax, you're going to need wire strippers, utility knife, we're going to need a bigger electrical box, because what we're going to do is we're actually going to take this one out over here, and then add in a double gang so that we can have the outlet and then a switch next to it, and that switch will operate all the under cabinet lights. Alright, so in the box, it's pretty simple here. We've got the light, and all the little things come with it are inside. So these ones here have a couple of securing screws. They're almost not necessary, but you know, they're there, and it does help to keep it from, you know, accidentally popping open, I guess. The cheaper brands don't even have these securing screws. And the other thing that's nice about these GEs is that they have more LEDs across here. Let me open it up here. So we got this plastic right here. All right, so one side goes in under the metal, the other side kind of has a little U channel. So you just want to grab it and pop it. Try not to shoot your screws all over. All right, our little tiny LEDs here, the GE has more of them on these light fixtures. That's why the light looks more solid and consistent. Your cheaper ones, they'll be spaced out further, less of them. And then when you look at the light, you'll see looks like there's lots of little bulbs in there. This one here looks like it's one solid bulb when it's on. So that's the nice part. All right, we're gonna set this stuff to the side before we lose it. Okay. Now in here, there's these little metal tabs. It's kind of hard to see white on white, but this part of the light sits underneath these tabs here, 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 and here. So you're just gonna wanna kind of flex your fingers in here, you pop it open, and then it's up underneath over here too. Okay, and there we go. Another nice thing about these GEs is that they have the press-in wire harnesses, okay? So you don't have to add wire nuts in here. You just slip the new wires in and you're done. And it has two open ports on it, because we're gonna have multiple lights here, so we're gonna have power going into this one, that was going on the first port, and then power going out of it, stringing over to the next light, okay? So obviously the last light won't have two, it'll only have one. Your logo bag of parts here. On this installation, since we're gonna be putting it up against the wall tight, this little wire clamp here doesn't fit. I've tried messing with it. You know, it's got the little wire clamp, it just doesn't fit at all. It's actually bigger than the fixture to go in the back, so it's kind of like, what? But all the other brands have the same problem. So I guess it works on a completely different install if you wanted to have it coming out of the back or something, or you know, the bottom, I'm sorry. So it would work, the clamp would work coming out of here on a completely different install. But this install, we're gonna be popping out through here, and it just doesn't fit. So the only thing you need to save are these two little screws here, which are gonna screw it into the cabinet. That's all you need to save. The rest of this stuff is not for our install. Okay, so we're gonna take our light, okay, and we're gonna keep our two little screws close by, and our actual light unit we're also gonna put to the side. Now we're just gonna worry about mounting the frame. Okay, so you're gonna wanna measure your frame. It's exactly 24, which is exactly what it's supposed to be. and we're 27 and almost a half. Okay, so our half point of this is going to be, okay, I tried doing this in my head, so I think it's about 13 3/4. Should be our center point. Well, a little bit closer to 13 5/8 on this particular one. Okay, so there's our center point. And then I'm going to measure 12 inches over that side and 12 inches over that side. And that's where the frame's going to sit. Okay, so the frame's going to sit up under like this, okay? And now it's centered with this cabinet. So now there's these little tabs you have to look at. They're really hard to see on the camera. You probably can't see them at all. They're punch outs. There's one there in the middle and then on the right and left sides, okay? And so you want to figure out which one you want to punch out. When we go to put the light fixture back in, because the transformer is right here, okay, this is our little transformer for the LEDs. The right will work, you know, because the right's over here. The center sometimes gets hard because it's like right, I mean, just butts in right here next to it. And then the right side's, you know, over here. So if you can, this hole on the left side is actually the easiest one to come into because you can just come right in and tie in right over here. The other ones will work, but this is the easiest one to use if you can. Okay, so when we put it up there, we look and see where the left one is. Left one's right here. There's no stud behind it or anything. Perfect. Okay, so we're gonna punch it out. So just take like a screwdriver and all right, punch it out. This can be sharp, so be careful. Okay, so we're gonna put it back in place and we're gonna mark our hole. Now we're gonna punch through that. All right, so I've got my spade bit up here on the drill and I got 9/16 inch. That'll work good. Now when we actually, now that'll be just enough to get the wires through, but barely. So when I punch through the wood studs, I'm actually gonna go bigger, like a 5/8 or a 3/4, just to make it easier. But I'm just trying to keep this the same size hole as what's on the light fixture, because there's no point in going bigger. All right, so I've got the tiny little screw to set it up there with on my impact, ready to go. We're gonna put it back in place, make sure we line up, and our hole, there we go, is lined up perfectly. It's important because it's gonna be a tight fit bringing the wires in as it is. All right, there's one screw. And 2 screws. Light fixture is, the main frame is in there and tight and solid. All right, at this part here, now we need to add some wires in, okay? We gotta give this thing some power. So I get ready to take this electrical box out. So I'm gonna shut the power off, of course. I got the voltage detector here, ready to go. I do a video on this if you wanna know what it is and how to use it, top right of your screen. Let's go flip that breaker. Power's off, we're good to go. Let's get rid of this outlet. Well, I don't want to break it because I'm putting it right back. It's just going into the new box. All right, so we have a new electrical box here, our double gang, and we're gonna pop a couple of these tabs in right now because we know the wires are coming in. Let's bend those in so we can bring the wires in. So I got one from the bottom, one from the top, and then the one going out the lights. So we'll have another one for the top, and then I might have another one on top. All right, now they already marked it before, but if you didn't mark it before you took off the box, we should probably mark it before you take the box off. So you can put the new one back the same height. All right, so with these double gang boxes, that angled nail on the bottom is very hard to get. Obviously, as you can see, I just can't. So we want to keep the box secure. So the way to cheat a little bit is just take a drywall screw from the side here. okay? Box isn't going anywhere. Don't drive it in so hard that you crack the box, but that's gonna keep it secure. All right, at this point, I've got the bigger 5/8 bit, and we're gonna start punching some holes into some studs here. Okay, so here's our box. So the wire's gonna go through here and up to the light fixture under here. Okay, so initially I just need the one here. And if you're just putting in one light fixture, then that's all you'll need. But I've got 3 more to go along this wall, so then I'll punch holes all the way down and around, making sure to check both sides of the stud, that there's not a wire on there before I start punching through. So just pay attention to what you're doing. All right, now if you have a corner you have to go through, because I'm going all the way around to over here, they get tricky, so get a bigger bit. Okay, so my daughter just ran my handy dandy shop vac, so we'll clear here again. Now we just start feeding some wires, okay? All right, so you see I got my 14 gauge wire here. I've got the Romax stripped back quite a ways, the outer Romax. Got the ends stripped here, ready to go. So what we're gonna do, okay, I'll show you here how to wire it. Start with the outlet, and we're gonna start by putting the original outlet wires back in place. Okay, now as far as your switch goes, it's an interrupt for power, okay? Which means it's gonna go in this black wire so that it can stop the power when it's off and then continue the power when it's on. So our white wire doesn't even go to the switch at all. It just goes straight into the outlet. Boom, okay? So now we have our negative line right there that's ready to go to the light. As far as the positive one, we're gonna start it in the outlet. Oop. But we're gonna take it over here. Over there. Okay. And line it up with our switch. And cut it. All right, so you see what we did there? Is we created an interrupt in the main power line, or the positive wire, however you want to, whatever you want to call it. So the white goes straight to the outlet, and the black comes through, cuts, goes to the switch, goes up to the light. Okay, and then we're going to wrap all our grounds together and put them on the ground of the outlet. Okay, now at this point, good luck getting all these wires back in. You kind of want to fold them a little bit so they'll bend. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of feel out how much wire I need here. Give myself a little bit of slack, because I can always cut more off. It's a lot harder to put more back on. Not really room for splices in here. Okay, now it's really hard to do it separate. And so since I'm going to another light fixture, I'm going to run another cord coming through here. much easier to do together. All right, so let's get these ready for the light fixture. So now we've got the actual light part back here. And this part's really easy because these little push connectors. So I've already stripped all the wires. Okay, so we just gotta match the colors. Black. Just push it in, make sure it goes in all the way. Black. White. And the ground. Boom, baby. Now this is the difficult part. It's trying to get everything folded in here so you can actually close the light fixture. So it can get crowded real fast. Okay. Slip the back of the fixture in place. Oops. Make sure I got all the wires up there, not behind it. This part's really easy to get like wires stuck in places they're not supposed to be. So take your time. And if you start to lose your patience, then come back. 'Cause it's not going to get any better. Okay, now we want to push it back to lock it in tabs. Okay, now we're going to get our little set screws, which I said are kind of redundant, but it's not bad to have. We're going to put them back in, of course. These tiny, tiny little Phillips screws. My old man hands can barely hold on to these little screws and their little star washers. There we go. For the lens cover. Alright, now the lens cover, so you can see it here. We've got the one side that's just flat that goes in, and then we've got the little U channel up here, okay? The flat side will get in first, and we'll go up into the front of the light fixture, and then the U channel snaps in the back. Okay. Make sure it's just in right. There we go. It fits tight, so if it's off by just a little bit, the other one won't stick in. So we're going to leave this off for the moment. We're going to flip our switch off, and then we're going to turn our breaker on to go test it out, making sure that that wire that we put that way isn't touching anything. Okay, now, I don't know why I switched this off before. I might as well just turn that on. That was kind of... Now the light switch. Boom, baby. That's power. And that's a lot of light. Step back, Maddie. See how much light that puts out? Keep stepping back. That's why I normally have dimmers on these guys, because they put out a ton of light. And that's only one fixture. I've got 3 more to put on the other side of the stove. So I hope you guys liked this video. I hope I got all the points you needed to understand how to install these great under cabinet lights. I know they're not cheap, but they are a great addition to your kitchen, and they're gonna last for years to come. And there's no wires or anything hanging out anywhere, okay? They're very professional, very original looking, okay? So that being said, please take a moment to subscribe to my channel. Check out my website, check out the cooking channel, and additional video there for you to check out as well. Thanks again.